Welcome back to the Chats and Recaps podcast with your host, Sammy.
And Mimi. We're glad you joined us today. So let's get into it.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you never miss an upload.
Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another podcast.
Woohoo!
And today, the Bachelor Greatest Seasons Ever is finally back. So we have an episode to talk about today. And today's episode was all about five-time, if you count him being the Bachelor, five-time Bachelor show contestant Nick Viall. Yeah. Although I guess technically when he was the Bachelor, he wasn't a contestant. He was the main person, and then the girls were the contestants. Yeah. And anyway, he's been on the show a lot.
Well, he was a contestant 4 times, and the 5th time was the charm. He became the Bachelor.
Or was it the charm?
Or was he a contestant when he was?
Wait, what? No, he was.
Paradise?
He was. Yeah, he was a 4-time prior show contestant. Yeah. He was on Caitlin's season of The Bachelorette, Andy's season of The Bachelorette, and 2 seasons of Bachelor in Paradise.
Is he the longest running person?
I don't know. It's between him and the other guy, the one who they make fun of and saying he's an old man. The one that was with Katie in like the last season.
How many times?
What's his name? What's that guy's name? Chris something. Chris Bukowski.
Chris
Bukowski. Do you remember like on the last season of Paradise he was on, and on his like little nameplate, usually where it writes like what season they're from, they listed like a whole bunch of seasons, like it didn't even fit. And then one time they put something else that was funny. It was like,
and he's just a Bachelor brand.
Yeah, like too many seasons to list or something like that. Chris Bukowski. I think he's been on more stuff than Nick.
I wonder if Nick gets invited to Bachelor in Paradise, will he come?
I wouldn't.
For a 3rd time on Bachelor in Paradise?
I wouldn't. If I was him, I would say.
Why not?
No, because it hasn't worked for him before. What says it's going to work the 3rd time? I mean, come on. Come on, dude. You were the Bachelor and you still couldn't find love.
Single?
At that point, I would just like give it up. I don't know. I've never seen. It would be like Hannah Brown going into a season of Bachelor in Paradise.
I could see her
after she was the Bachelorette. It wouldn't make sense.
I could see her do it.
It's like a step. I would not like. I guess not like a step down, because it's not like there's no ladder of which to find love that one tier is above the other. But I don't know. It's like you can't be in any better position than to be the Bachelor or the Bachelorette. So then to be like on something like Paradise.
Yeah, but it's Bachelor in Paradise.
Weird.
You're really not a candidate. You're just there to see if mingling with a bunch of other people, you might find something.
I don't think he would.
Let's call Nick. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because you just have his number.
I know. I just have his number on my speed dial.
I feel like he wouldn't. That's just my thought. I feel like he wouldn't do it again.
No, I feel like he would.
I mean, if he does, it's just going to be like, come on. He wants to be the next joke like Bukowski.
Like Chris?
Yeah. Like Bukowski.
It wouldn't be a joke to me. It would just be somebody desperately looking for love.
Yeah, desperate is the word.
Desperately looking for love.
So before we go into his season, just some quick news on the upcoming Bachelorette season. So it's officially been announced that it's going to start airing on October the 13th. Yay! And it's actually going to be airing on Tuesdays instead of Mondays. So that's going to be a change in the programming. Apparently, I guess there's too much going on the air at that time. They didn't want to hold back, showing the season much longer. So to fit it into the time slots, it's going to be airing on Tuesday instead of Monday, because I guess they didn't want to be in competition with football for a spot on the air. So yeah, so Bachelorette will be airing. First episode airs October 13th, which is a Tuesday, and then it will be consecutively every Tuesday from there on.
Yeah, you can't compete with football.
Yeah. There is a new promo poster that they released for Clares' season that shows a replication of The Graduate. So people are wondering, like, what is that supposed to mean? Because I guess The Graduate is based off of a young guy having a relationship with an older woman. Well, Claire is almost 40, and spoiler alert, if the rumors are true, then she may have already be with one of the guys that was on her season that she talked to before the season. I think I mentioned this last time. I can't remember his name, but word on the street is that she wanted to end the show. She already found the guy that she wanted, and so Tayshia was coming in to replace her as the Bachelorette, and that Tayshia is now the current Bachelorette filming in her place. And so it's going to be a weird season.
So we still don't know yet.
Well, ABC hasn't officially said anything about it yet, although it's kind of been like teased, but they haven't really said that Tayshia's the Bachelorette and that Claire isn't, because I mean they're advertising her for the season. So I think it's like, I mean, with everything going on and they're forced to be in a resort right now. So, I mean, how much interesting stuff is going to happen in like one resort? You don't have all this, you know, going to crazy destinations and stuff like that. So I guess it gives a twist to the season. There's like, oh, she ends the season and then now Tayshia's stepping in, and then that's going to be like the twist. And then there will be maybe some interesting things happening because the guys are the same, weird. Pretty much. Yeah, I don't know. Everything is going to be weird because they're going to be trapped in a resort filming during COVID. So how are they going to show that? Like, how do you make a show in that? I don't know. I mean, it's not like Love is Blind where you're just sitting in a pod.
To be honest with you, I think they could have picked other candidates besides Claire and Tayshia. I really don't care for both of them. Really, that's just my opinion. And I really hope that if Claire's the one who is going to be on The Bachelorette, that she just continues all the way through. I really don't want to see Tayshia as the next Bachelorette.
Well, apparently she already did, though. I think they said, again, this is like rumored, but apparently she, I guess, did like 3 weeks or something like that. And then she knew, I guess, already the guy that she wanted to be with for the rest of the show. And so they just I guess they just let her quit, and she may or may not be quarantined with that guy in the resort. And then Tayshia came in to replace her for the remainder of the season. They called back some of the guys that Claire eliminated to basically like restart a season with Tayshia. So I don't know. I guess when they go in, nobody knows like how it's going to work at all. I don't know. There's rumors maybe that they're going to have them get married or something. I don't know what's going on. So I guess we'll see we'll find out when it airs. I mean, at this point, there's like so much speculation of this and that and the other. And, you know, Tayshia went offline, and there's a picture that she's like at the resort. So she's definitely there where they're holding the guys for where The Bachelorette is supposed to be filmed. She's definitely there. Like, that's not speculation. That's fact. She's there. The only speculation is her replacing
other candidates
her for The Bachelorette. I mean, like, who else would you have picked in her place?
I don't know.
Because it wouldn't be any girls from Peter's season.
I don't know. It's just something about Tayshia that
Tayshia,
whatever her name is, Tayshia. It's just something about her. I don't know. I don't like her. I don't know her, but I don't like her.
I don't have any problems with her.
You get to know them when they're on Bachelor in Paradise. I think what really did it for me with her was when she was on Bachelor in Paradise. That it was her and JPJ. Ugh, I don't know. She just made me sick.
I don't know. So we'll see. We'll find out, I guess, when it airs. I mean, obviously, like I said, everything for the most part is pretty much speculation. So we don't know for sure one way or the other. The only way to find out is when it airs, and we only have to wait a month for that. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I can't imagine that they're going to be showing that much of Claire, because if they showed Claire's first couple of weeks and she's building relationships with multiple guys or whatever the case may be, and then Tayshia's going to come in and replace her, and then she's going to be having to make relationships with the same guys who just were starting to make relationships with Claire. It doesn't make sense. It seems very like half-ass type situation.
Not only that,
and then she gets like the hand-me-down leftovers that Claire didn't pick. Like, those guys weren't picked for her.
They weren't
so
picked
it's
for
like
her.
I
They
don't
were
know.
picked for Claire.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Like, it should be like a whole new casting.
Here's my thing. They should have just maybe done the season, just have the shorter season, because they're going to be filming the Bachelor season immediately as soon as Claire's wrapped up anyway. So if Claire really wanted to end it and they just weren't willing to fight with her or whatever, then they could have just done the couple weeks of her and then go right into the Bachelor, you know? But to give Tayshia like that half-assed Bachelorette thing doesn't make sense, because she has to step right in to replace her with guys that she already like rejected, that they're calling back and stuff. It's like weird. It's just weird to me.
It is.
Like, they should have, at least if they wanted to pick her, just give her own season like the next year.
That's true.
But to put her in after Claire, I don't know. Again, that's my opinion, so I don't know.
Sloppy seconds.
I don't know how much Claire made any connections with any guys other than the one that she ended up picking. So I don't know. But it's weird because if the guys were there saying, "Oh, I came here because it's you,"
I know,
and then Tayshia comes, it's just,
and now it's
I
like Tayshia, and it's like, I didn't come here for you.
Yeah,
I did come here for Claire. It's gonna put like a strain.
Yeah, it would put a bad taste in my mouth. Like if I was Tayshia, I would say no. I would say I deserve my own season.
Yeah.
With my own guys that you handpicked for me.
That you handpicked for me.
Exactly. That's how it should be. Although even though they say that they don't technically like handpick for the contestant, but they kind of do.
You have to. That's the dating thing. You throw in.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
You throw in a couple of people
of oddballs
because they ask the questions like, "What has happened in your relationships?" So they're gonna throw in some mix in there that are people that it didn't work out with. They're gonna throw some mix that they think she should go with, and then they're gonna throw some mix that she wants.
Yeah, exactly.
So they have like those little mix. Mm-hmm. That's Claire's mix that's in there, not hers.
I know. And they're not the same person.
No,
obviously.
They're
not
very
the same
different.
Person.
They like different things in men.
Although apparently Claire's into younger guys, I guess. So a lot of the guys were young anyway. But still, I don't know.
She's a cougar.
Like I said, it would put a weird taste in my mouth. If I was her, I would say, I would have said I deserve my own season, you know?
Yeah, I would have been like, no thanks.
I mean, she doesn't even get to be publicized as the Bachelorette. Like, come on.
Nope.
It doesn't feel right. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not unless they're just going to they're just going to start the first episode stating what happened and that they changed, you know, who's stepping in, and they're just starting from the beginning again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there will be an explanation of sorts. I don't know.
And I wonder how these candidates feel.
I don't know. That's the thing. It's going to be like, it'll probably make the season interesting, but not
like, how are their faces going to be when she walks in and this is your new Bachelorette?
Yeah. It'll make the season interesting, but not in the way that it should be interesting. It's going to make it interesting in like what the hell's going on and everybody's confused and it's kind of awkward type situation.
It's going to be
not interesting
can I raise my hand if I don't want to be here?
Right? It's not interesting in like
I just leave now?
In the form of like relationship developments and like things just, you know, happening amongst people. It's going to be interesting in a like, what the hell did you guys do and why type situation.
So they're not even going to have like the limo.
That's the thing. We don't know. Well, I don't know. Someone said, well, maybe they're just going to put everyone in limos just for the sake of still having a limo entrance. But I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, they have the whole resort to themselves. It's a really, really big resort. So I don't know if it might be big enough to still like do a limo entrance type thing. But then it's going to be kind of, weird. I don't know. It's going to,
it's going to be an awkward season.
The word of the whole thing is weird. That's the term, is weird. But also a lead has never sat for so long knowing they were the lead, knowing every contestant that was going to be on the show for this long.
Yeah.
So they've had the opportunity, or she has had the opportunity to speak to people from her season for an extended period of time that would not have happened had her season been filmed the way it was supposed to. So, I mean, had they known this was going to happen, they probably would not have released a cast. They would have kept it hush hush until maybe like they were ready until they were filming, but they didn't have that luxury this time. They thought, you know, release cast, go into filming. That's not how it happened. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
We maybe in ABC I would have just delete. When all this is over, we'll then cast who we want as the Bachelorette.
It's weird.
For now, we've deleted everything. So let's do a glitch in everybody's mind.
Yeah.
Throw a virus.
That's like,
everyone forget. Flash the light like on MIB,
Men in Black. Yeah. So I also had an interesting idea. You know how we're both really into zodiacs and astrology and stuff like that. So I said, what if for the new season we pull up every contestant's and like the lead's zodiac sign and everything like that, and then using only their zodiac sign, determine who is going to be their final three based off of their zodiac and zodiac compatibility. What do you think? That'd be interesting?
That would be interesting.
So we're gonna
for
say
Claire's season.
Yeah,
Claire/Tayshia.
Yeah, Claire/Tayshia. I think I don't know what Claire's zodiac is, but I think Tayshia's a Virgo.
Oh, she looks like a Virgo.
You're married to a Virgo.
Yeah, but I don't get along with female Virgos.
Yeah, it depends, like, what end of the spectrum they fall in the Virgo category, because they can be a Virgo with a sun and moon and other things that affect the personality. So I don't know.
All right, geologist.
But what do you think about that? We could do that. Or if you're listening and you think that'd be interesting, we can do that. Sure. We'll do a bachelor breakdown based off of zodiacs. Yeah.
See if it works.
Yeah, based off of zodiacs and see, you know.
All right.
We'll pull the lead
We're gonna
zodiac.
stalk each one of the candidates.
No. There's these places now that like release everybody's zodiacs. I know.
We're gonna stalk
like
each one of them and get their zodiac signs.
And then we're gonna say, all right, so this is Claire's top 3. And we're trying to figure out who the heck did Claire pick 3 days in or 3 weeks in that she's by their for sure based on the zodiac sign and compatibility.
Okay.
And then if they don't, like, let's say they maybe don't pick the person, but they pick a different zodiac, maybe that we didn't find to be as compatible, we'll determine if their relationship is doomed or not.
Okay.
That would be interesting.
Sure.
I don't know. Ugh,
that
sorry.
would be.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who's doing that right now, who does bachelor stuff based off of zodiacs.
Well, whoever's listening is going to get an idea.
Well, it's our idea, and I've already said it, and everyone knows, so... Kapowie. Anyway.
You know about all those ideas.
Because astrology, I'm just going to call it astrology is fact.
But is it?
No, it's not.
True.
But yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean? Is it true?
It's
if
fact,
I'm saying it's fact, if a fact has to be true.
But if it's fact, but is it true?
I don't know. So anyway, we should probably start talking about Nick Viall season. That's the reason we're all here, right?
Yes.
So 20 minutes in, we're going to start talking about Nick Viall's season. And so here's an interesting fact about Nick. Nick is a Libra with a moon in Gemini. That's what makes him so freaking like a women magnet. I'm not kidding. This guy is like a female magnet. If you see him on any of the seasons, like even in Bachelor in Paradise, like people are just attracted to him, especially women. Women are very drawn to him. And even if it's not romantic, like they're just drawn to him. They get very close to him in terms of friendship. Yeah, both friendship and romantically. And it's because he's a Libra, moon in Gemini. That's a very interesting like combination.
That means I would get along with him.
No, I've always got the sense. Here's the thing. Even when I saw him on Andy's season and everything like that, and you know, he had like a bad rep being Andy's season, Caitlin's season.
I don't know why he's got a bad rep. I like him.
Me neither. I liked him a lot too. I was like, I like this guy. Like this guy actually looks like somebody that I would possibly like have been friends with in like real life. If I'd met him, we would be cool.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about this, but I was like, I think the reason that people don't like him is because he's not fake. You know,
he's not fake. That's the problem.
He doesn't put on the smiley face, try to just like get along with people. He's just who he is.
He's straight out.
I found him to be like one of the most genuine people to be on the show. Like he doesn't,
people don't like,
he doesn't like sugarcoat things. He doesn't just say things to say them, you know?
People don't like real. They want to hear the fake stuff. They want to hear what they want to hear. And when someone is telling them the truth, you know, there's people that don't want to hear the truth. So
it's not like if he says something, he doesn't lie about what he doesn't lie. He doesn't, say things for the sake of saying them like a lot of people do. So
he doesn't say things for the sake of you not liking him.
Yeah, and then like the guys will always come up to him like, oh, why are you not trying to be friends with everybody? Well, why do I need to be friends with everybody, you know? I mean, if we're in a room together, we're going to talk. I'm going to be cordial and civil, but like I'm not going to go out of my way to be your friend or whatever. If you don't like me, you don't like me. You expect me to change your opinion of me? I can't.
That is so me.
Right?
They would have been like, why are you always in a corner or on your own, or why aren't you making friends? I'm not here to be friends with anybody. I mean, I'm going to be polite and I'm going to say hi. And if there's times where people are just talking and we get in that conversation, I'll have that conversation. But I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to be in a relationship.
Yeah, I never got that. There was even a point where someone was like, oh, well, why, you should be trying to like make relationships with the people here and stuff like that. I'm sorry. I didn't sign up for... I don't even know what kind of show that would be. I didn't sign up to be the bachelor with other bachelors and make male relationships. Okay? This isn't like a JJ and whatever situation where they were pretty much dating each other in the house. It's like, what do you want? You want him to be dating you, or you want him to be dating that girl? I mean, he's there for the bachelorette, not for you.
You're there, you're being civil, you say hi to people, you talk, you have little talks and everything, but
and I think people
friendship stuff, you do that in high school.
And then another thing, I think people didn't like him because he was just he's very confident, like sure of himself, and when all the other guys are sitting around like, oh, I don't know how she feels about me and this, I'm like, I don't know, but I have a great connection with her. I feel good. And everybody would get pissed off that he does that. I'm like, well, that's how he feels. You want him to sit around complaining, oh, biting his nails. Does she like me? Does she not like me?
Please.
Like everybody else? Come on. So that was another thing that people didn't like about him. That they said he was like too confident and that he was cocky and whatever. I didn't find him to be like cocky or anything like that.
I don't know.
But that's
like
my
Nick.
personal opinion. Yeah. And of course, I'll always have a special appreciation for him being the only person to tell Ashley that she was being psychotic and that she and Jared were never going to be together, even though she ended up with him anyway. He was the only person who would tell this girl, it's not going to happen and you're obsessed and you need to stop. So I'll always appreciate him for that. He comes out and says the stuff to people that like I wish I could say to people if I was there on the show. Anyways.
That's the thing. That would be me.
Right? You'd
I would be like,
grow up.
This would be me because I can't be around melancholia. I can't. I can't.
For those of you who don't understand what melancholia is, that's just a Spanish term for people who are always like
melancholy.
Yeah, people who are always down, sad.
I can't be around that. I can't. I could never be around that. And it's not that I'm cold-hearted or I, don't care. It depends on the situation. I can't be around a person like Ashley who's constantly crying over someone who's not going to give her the time of day because he's not interested in you. You psycho. Move on. Because that's what I would tell her. You're being psycho. Okay? And, all you're doing is just bringing this whole day down. Right, it's just a big old cloud.
Remember how in Guy in Paradise, everybody was just like, oh my God, please ask her on the date.
Seriously.
Please ask her on the date. Like, please, somebody get her out of here.
For real. It's like this big, I bet any amount of money she's like Cancer or something.
She is a Cancer.
I knew it.
I'm pretty sure she is. Oh wait, did I check?
Please check.
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. She's not a Cancer. No. I had to look up Taylor because Taylor in the season, we're going to talk about her when we get into it. But Taylor, the one who was talking about emotional intelligence, right. She is a Cancer. Hold on. I think she was like something that I was shocked. She might be a Gemini.
Ew, no way.
Hold on.
Geminis do not act like that.
When I saw her zodiac, I was shocked. Oh no, I'm sorry. She's a Pisces.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
she's a Pisces.
Which is kind of weird because Pisces, she must be under the moon of that melancholia sign.
She must have some Cancer in her.
She must.
Not like that. That doesn't sound right. She must have some Cancer zodiac in her. I'm so sorry. I would never say that about a person. When I say Cancer, I'm talking about zodiac.
The zodiac sign Cancer. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like when in Colton's season, Demi called somebody the Cancer of the house. But she said it in the actual the disease. I was thinking, call her the Cancer, like the Cancer zodiac of the house.
I love Demi.
The Cancer the one who's always crying about everything.
Oh my gosh, she's such a Cancer. And not the sign. She's deteriorating this whole place.
She said it a different way. She was like, "You're the Cancer of the house," and then the girl got really offended by it.
Well, because that. It's like, what does Cancer do? It just eats you up. And what are they doing when they're eating up people's fun? They're just eating up the air and eating up the happiness.
Y'all are all just mad because I'm not, because I'm happy.
No, y'all are just happy.
Y'all are mad because I'm not mad. So stay mad, honey. That's like her.
Oh
but no,
God.
She was like, oh my God, you're like the Cancer of the house. or maybe she said to somebody else, she's like the Cancer. Oh no, she said it in an interview. She said she's the Cancer of the house. And then the girl saw it back, and then when they were doing the women tell all, she was like, you would call me like such a terrible disease that claims many lives, and that's so messed up.
God, there you
and
go.
Demi's like, there you go, being the Cancer. And she was like, I'm sorry, Cancer is not the proper word because Cancer is a real thing. You are something else. She called her dirt or scum or something else different than a Cancer. She's like, you know what? That's an insult. You're right. That's an insult to people who suffer from cancer. You're something worse than that. You're like dirt. I don't know. Something. I'm really terribly misquoting, but she said something. I was like,
I love her. She's straight out. She don't care.
Because the girl tried to turn it you would call me something.
She's going to try to turn it into where everybody's going to be like, oh my God, Demi, I cannot believe people die from cancer every day, hours of the day. People die.
Yeah, she kills me.
We know that. But that's, it's just a word. And
I think
it's just a word that's not being taken away
If you take
from
Demi,
what happens.
if you take like Demi, you and me in a conversation,
Oh
just like
my
talking about
God,
some
we would
shit,
be
that
awesome.
would be off the chain.
Yeah, we would be awesome.
Because none of us take anything like so
Nope.
seriously. So it would just be some crazy shit coming out. Anyway, I swear this is a.
She would have been like, oh
this
my
is-
gosh, she's like the cancer in this house. And I would have been like, cancer? She's like gangrene and
Oh shoot.
she's like cutting off our limbs.
Oh
and
my
shit,
gosh,
you know?
I can't. So
that's her.
wow.
Cancer. You could get rid of cancer. We can't get rid of her.
I swear.
Nobody give her a rose.
I swear this is definitely a Bachelor recap. We still have yet to go into the season.
That's
I'm
because
just going
Nick,
off on tangents.
That's because Nick, you know,
That's because Nick is just a real ass dude, man. He's just a real ass dude. He is just misunderstood.
He was on Paradise when he was telling Ashley. So
yeah,
you know,
he was just a real
him.
ass man. You know, I'm sorry.
real.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry. I like the person. Okay. I don't have anything bad to say, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but anyway. So yeah, this
all
is
right. So going back to Nick.
So anyways, the season.
All right. So we acknowledge that he was on Andy's season, he was on Kaylin's season, and he did 2 seasons of Bachelor in Paradise. The candidates for The Bachelor were Danielle L., Corinne, Alexis, Vanessa, Rachel. Taylor, who when she met him said, her friend said he is a piece of shit. Not her. She didn't feel that way about him. Just her friends. And he was like, oh my.
Well, you know Taylor. She got to
Okay.
put you down before she can say something to pick you up. You know, she got to put you down so that she can be the person lifting you up. You know,
she really deals with emotional intelligence. So
how do you meet someone for the first time and be like, oh my gosh, hi, I'm like so happy to be here. And by the way, my friend said that you're like a piece of shit. Awkward pause for like 1 minute. He's like, I don't know how to take that. But yeah, I'm totally happy that it's you. Okay. It's just, I was also laughing because I took a note and I wrote, Taylor said her friends think he's a piece of shit, ... And then on the next line, I was just like, Christina. And not to say that
Vanessa, who speaks French because I think she's from Canada.
Yes, she's from Canada. She speaks French.
She's from your place, your dream place to
I
live.
know. I love those Canadians.
Zero bag token girl.
Corinne. That was Corinne. Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
Kissed
Zero
her,
bag.
on the first night.
Yeah, zero bag token girl.
Yeah, zero bag.
I was like, what?
Zero bag token girl.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. She gave him a coin and she said, she said, this is a hug token.
And come give it to me when you're ready for that hug.
Yeah, she's like, this is a token for a hug.
I didn't put zero bag. I put a bag of tokens.
Oh.
And I call her token girl.
Yeah, they were hug tokens. She gave him the token. She's like, this is for a hug. So you got to, come and cash that in later. Yeah. And then she gave him a money bag full, like a money bag tokens. Full of those little tokens, to cash in. And she said they were all kinds of different stuff. So, later on he cashed in the topless token and then he cashed in the humping him token and whatever. I don't know.
And the buy me the outfit that cost $3,000 token. There you go.
Oh yeah, that was her.
And then we need to talk about Alexis.
Oh, Alexis in her shark costume.
But she said it was a dolphin costume, which everyone in the house kept saying no, it's a shark
Alexis
costume.
And her shark costume.
And then she was doing the dolphin call. They were like, what is that? A dolphin? She sounded like a real dolphin. Oh, when she was like,
or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounded more like a monkey than a dolphin. I don't know how to do a dolphin call.
No, she did. She sounded like a freaking dolphin.
Yeah, but she was wearing a shark costume.
Anyway, then they showed her today. She was wearing
She still had the freaking shark costume.
Baby shark do 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 baby shark do 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 baby shark do do.
I don't know if that was supposed to be
shark.
I don't know if that's supposed to be like an inside joke or something that she's wearing a shark costume and calling it a dolphin.
Because according to her, when they talked to her today, Chris was like, "Okay, we need to solve this. What is that costume?" Because she even wore it today, so obviously she still has the costume. Yeah. She said, "Well, Chris, in a world full of sharks, I choose to be a dolphin." And that's what I'm going to leave it at. Then she said vagina danced when she was on the show with Chris.
What she meant to say was... What she meant to say was, in a world full of sharks, she chooses to be in a shark costume acting like it's a dolphin.
She will not say that is a shark costume.
So we can choose to go deeper into this and analyze that in a different way, as in like, you know, you can present someone with a fact as much as you want, but they can still choose to not see the truth and make it something else. That's what I'm getting. That's what she is in her shark costume.
All right, Taylor, can you analyze Alexis and her costume? Because she's the therapist, I think.
Did you see when Corinne got the first kiss on night one? One of the girls, a bunch of the girls like, oh my God, look, she's already kissing him. And one of the girls said, what a hoe. I was like, what a hoe because she kissed him?
Because she was the first one.
Can we change, like, do you know what that word means?
I didn't know. Okay. You're on a show and they're competing, because I don't know, they keep saying we're competing and I'm trying to win. Well, they're competing to be with a guy. Who's to say when that first kiss should happen? It's just a kiss. She didn't She didn't take all her clothes off and show herself naked and say, come get me. You know, you just met me, but come get me. She didn't say that. She just gave him a kiss. Everybody was so
what the big deal is.
They're like, oh. Why? Because you guys didn't think of it. She went ahead and jumped in. That's why she lasted all the way to what? Hometown.
Yeah. That's how I take that stuff. I'm like, I don't take it as an attack on really the person, because I'm like, it's BS. You don't know them anyway, and they spew out bullshit either way. But anytime someone insults another person, notice it's usually because they have a closer relationship or are progressing faster than somebody else. Yeah. So they have to attack the person. So it's just jealousy. That's what I was getting at.
I would have just been like, dang, she got there before me.
Right? Shit. Like, dang, why didn't I do that?
I haven't even gotten to him yet. Hold up. Be ready to call me a hoe, because I'm about to go in and kiss.
Right. How many girls did Peter kiss on night one of his thing? I swear he kissed like 5 or 6 guys. Yeah, so is Nick. Oh, I see. It's like, I see what you're trying to say. What I'm saying, I think what I meant to say is that this was 4 years ago. So it's very common today to see them kiss a lot of people on night one, I guess is where I'm going at. Whereas before, sometimes they didn't even have their first kiss until like a couple of dates in. Yeah. Whereas, you know, people move quicker.
To me, it just depends on the group of people.
I don't know. Here's my thing. Is night one, you are, you know, as a lot of people say, leaving a lot behind to be there. So, you know, before you want to waste your time spending all this time here with this guy, you might as well just get the kiss in and figure out if there's chemistry or not, you know? I mean, what the hell? Everything moves fast anyway. I mean, think about it. Really, you're going to be engaged after knowing this person for 8 weeks, of which those 8 weeks you spent 3 hours with them. You might as well just, you know, get started.
I want to know, because if he doesn't kiss good, I'm going to do everything in my power to not get a ruse. I mean, what if because you got to be a good kisser for me.
What if you spend all this time there and then you finally get to the kiss and the kiss sucks and you're like, wow, I just wasted all this time. And you have to be physically, there has to be a physical chemistry too, you know? So personally, I don't I don't think it's hoe-ish to kiss someone on the first night.
No, it's not.
I wouldn't even call someone a hoe if they choose to have a one night stand. I mean, that's your prerogative.
You're a hoe if you go out on a first date and they take you home and they walk you to your door, if they're a gentleman, and they walk you to your door, or you walk them to their door. Or a
gentlewoman.
And you give a kiss. Does that make them hoe-ish? No, it's just a freaking kiss. Get over it. Ugh. Oy vey.
There are just some words that people should just eliminate. Moving on.
Okay, first off,
hoe is a gardening tool. Get it right, people. Farmers everywhere are quaking. They're tired of you calling people hoes. Like, learn what a freaking hoe is. It is a tool to which you use to tend to a garden. Okay, get it right. It reminds me of Cat in the Hat when he was in the backyard and he had a hoe and he was like, "You stupid hoe," and he pushes the hoe down and then he picks it up and then he hugs it, but it's like an actual hoe, like which is a gardening tool.
Hoe.
I'm like,
But
okay, so I'm a hoe.
Means.
You know what? I was like, well, at least I have a purpose.
I'm purposely being a hoe.
At least I have a purpose, you know, like tending to gardens.
I
What's yours?
Beautiful gardens all over the world. What is yours?
If I'm a hoe, then you're shit. You're the manure
You're
that they put to grow the flowers. I don't know.
No, the manure is too good.
You're right. The manure serves a deep purpose.
It's a fertilizer.
You're right.
It makes
what's
beautiful
the
flowers. What's the opposite?
Weed killer.
Amoeba. That's like the worst thing you could be.
That is not that. No, it's not. I don't think that's the worst thing you can be.
Yes, it is. That's like,
you know what an amoeba is?
Yeah, it's like the lowest form of scum on the earth.
I don't know if that's true.
It is. Like, that's the worst thing you could be is an amoeba. It is. Look up the term.
Okay.
Watch.
Whatever you say. Moving on. Moving on to wedding photos on the first date. Woohoo!
First group date.
Yeah.
That is.
When they were in the room getting ready, Corinne made a comment saying that she's totally going to kiss him that day. And then Taylor said that Corinne was saying it in close proximity to her in an attempt to psych her out. And then I said, maybe you're just insecure and you decided to take it as a thing to psych you out.
Yep.
Because you easily could have just been like, oh, you know what? Me too. He is fine. Blah, 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 blah. You know, like normal girl talk. Like, does everybody not want to kiss him? Why does it have to be a psych out?
I don't know.
I wouldn't take that as a psych out. Personally, I wouldn't. But then I will have to say that she totally made that shoot incredibly awkward when she took off her top. Even Chris. Why am I saying Chris? Chris Harrison wasn't there.
Even Nick.
Bukowski. Even Nick was like, whoa, this is awkward. She wanted him to like cup her breasts and stuff. I was like, okay, you took it too far. That
way
to me
too far.
was
Just
taken way too
Taylor
far.
Kissed him.
Yeah, that was taken way too far. I was like, yeah, you don't need to be showing your tatas to everybody.
You sure know they were becoming nemesis.
Yeah, that was the part that I was like, that's in poor taste. I mean, especially considering the circumstance, you know, there's other women there and stuff. It was in poor taste. They probably don't want to be seeing that. Yeah, so that was awkward.
It was in very poor taste.
And Nick was just like, I don't know what to do. Oh my God. He was like, where do I put my, can I do like, oh? I don't know. You notice like, as soon as she,
honey.
Did you see as soon as she took off her top, he put both his hands up in the air like, I'm not touching.
Like, I'm not touching
anything.
No,
that was awkward.
It was awkward.
That was weird. Yeah, that was definitely weird. That was one part that I was like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
She took it way out of proportion.
So. I mean, maybe if it was
she
a more
just flashed
intimate
herself to everybody.
Yeah, maybe if it was like an intimate photo shoot and the other girls weren't there.
Yeah.
And, you know, even then it would probably still be a little weird.
She has no
filter.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, she has no filter verbally or like expressively physically. Yeah, no barriers, no.
She's not mature whatsoever. You can tell just first off, when you first look at her, all you think of is a rich princess, part of the Mean Girl Club. That's her. When I look at her. Then second, I'm not saying she's a mean girl. Then secondly, you can tell she's spoiled. So you know she grew up where, of course, she had a nanny.
Yeah, she has a nanny.
So you know she grew up with no filter. Because nobody was there to tell her that's wrong, don't do that, you know. Nope. The nanny can't tell her that's wrong, don't do that. They can only like, you know, just do everything for them. So you can tell that's how she was raised. She was this big old immature person that I don't know why she was on the show other than just to show herself, to probably get exposure for the company that she has, because apparently she has a company.
I wonder what her company is.
So she probably just went on there for some exposure, branding, whatever she went on there for, because she is not ready for no commitments. She is still a child.
I have I have like different thoughts about it. I don't know if it's lack of maturity. I don't know if it's just not understanding social, like regular social boundaries because of the way
That
and
she
the
grew up.
circumstance of how she lived. And at the same time, I can't say whether somebody is ready or not for a relationship, because sometimes the people who don't seem ready when they meet the right person, they are. So I don't know if it's about being mature enough for a relationship. It's about it being the right person.
She's not mature at all.
I mean, she has to have some kind of maturity to run a business, you know?
Just because anybody could do a business.
You can lack maturity in some areas and still be professional, like when you need to be. You can be professional and be a businesswoman, operate a business, make millions of dollars, and then be the most immature person on the planet when you're interacting just in like a regular social setting, you know? So I don't know. I was like, I mean, there's got to be something there. She runs a business, so she can't be, you know,
she's not
immature.
Well, immaturity has nothing to do with being smart. I mean, she's smart.
I don't say anything about her intelligence.
She has business intelligence.
No, it's not about the intelligence. It's not what I mean.
What I mean about how she acts, she's not mature in how she acts.
Define mature. I don't know. Mature to me is like one of those words that's beauty in the eye of the beholder. What some people consider to be mature, other people don't consider it to be mature. My only thing is, if I was one of the other girls in that situation, Corinne was off the walls doing whatever, jumping in the bouncy house. Nick is jumping in the bouncy house. That wouldn't bother me. Nick is jumping in the bouncy house with her. Because that was another one. They were like, oh my God, so immature jumping in a bouncy house. I was jumping in a bouncy house right now. I don't think that's immature. Taking a lot of naps.
I love bouncy houses.
Okay. It was taking a lot of naps. No. Jumping, doing immature things, being all out there.
The taking naps, there's nothing wrong with taking a nap. But when you're holding everybody up because you're too busy taking a nap, like, she has no consideration for anyone but herself. And that's fine. It's fine, because I'm not saying, you know, you should always be number one to yourself, plain and simple. But when you're in a group setting the way you are, you need to be mindful of the other people around you. So how is it that on the night of the rose ceremony, where they were getting to know each other, just because she got a rose, okay, and she knew she was safe, Missy was taking a nap. And here he is like, where's Corinne? And then they show her snoring away. Because it's like, I got my rose, I don't need to be there. That's immaturity.
Well, here's the thing. I don't understand why it bothers anyone except for the lead. He's the one who should be like, immature, bothers me. Well, it didn't bother him that much because he kept her around to hometown.
That's because, okay, she is, how do I say this?
But here's my thing.
Corinne, the reason Corinne stood on is because she's like, it's like, she's very, very strong in appearance. Number one. She's a very, very strong person. And she has this thing about her that when she's present, she is present. And she's going to make herself be present to everyone, whether you're talking about her bad or whether you're talking about her good. She's going to be that presence. She's going to be the presence that you are not going to forget. So every time he thought of probably getting rid of her, here she comes, kissing him, rubbing him, doing all these things to him, that he's a man, she's a beautiful woman. And that's what kept him around. If it wasn't because that's what kept her around. If it wasn't because she was constantly kissing him, constantly rubbing on him, constantly sitting on him, constantly doing stuff to him, he would have sent her home a long time ago.
Okay, but that's the thing though. That's his choice. And even he kind of
admitted that a little bit.
At the same time though, but that's his choice.
Right.
So why does that affect the other women? Well, if she's taking a nap, be like, taking a nap. That's more time that I'm going to spend talking to him than she's sitting here and laying down. I don't know why it
affected the other women, because that's the thing that I don't understand about other women too.
Well, here's my thing. Okay,
be
be irritated or whatever. Just walk away. Ignore her. It's not like she was coming after people being on top of you or anything. People were just mad because she's taking a nap or, you know, she's being over the top with Nick. Well, that's his freaking prerogative. He's the bachelor. He's the one making the decisions. If that's what he likes, then I guess that's what he likes. Yep. Now, I don't understand why the other women need to like come after her and attack her. She's not doing anything to them. Because her taking a nap shouldn't be bothering you. You do what you do. Don't let what she's doing bother what you're doing. Don't let what she's doing take up time from you. Don't let her being annoying to you take up your time when you're talking to him. Now you're going to choose to talk about her because guess what she's not doing when she's with him? Talking about you. Nope. So why are you using up your time talking about her? What's more important, the relationship you're building or what she's doing? So at the same time, there's immaturity on all levels because you should all be mature enough women to not be bothered by what she's doing.
The problem is that she is a strong presence.
So what they should have,
they didn't know how to handle that strong presence, so they attacked her.
You ignore it. The only part that I do understand is a woman questioning him, like, really? So she's doing this, and that doesn't bother you. You don't find that disrespectful to you. Because maybe that's going to make me kind of question what you're really thinking up here. Are you really serious about a relationship? Because in my eyes, I mean, that's not serious. So then it makes me kind of question you. Oh. That's the only thing I can understand. Question him. Don't question her.
I mean, it's like they said, how old was she?
I don't know if I said that right. 24.
Like, oh, yeah. She's 24.
24 years old, has a nanny.
And doesn't know how to do anything. Didn't know how to do anything.
Don't care. Doesn't bother me. I could care less. That's how you want to live your life. That's how you want to live your life.
I mean, I don't know why she didn't. To me, I didn't see. I don't know. I would have to see like the complete season to see why.
I mean, if
they couldn't stand her so much, other than the fact that she slept a lot and she was always all over him. But it was like she said, if I'm all over him, they're complaining about it. If I'm taking naps, being out of everybody's way, they're still complaining about it. So it doesn't matter what I did. God. Everything is being complained about.
Oh, God, there's Corinne taking a nap. Who gives a shit? Let her take a damn nap. Who cares?
Take a nap. Why don't you?
Maybe if you took a nap, you wouldn't be so pissy. Maybe you're sleep deprived. She's not. That's why she's so happy when she is awake, because she's getting plenty of sleep. Maybe you all need to take notes.
She's resting for the guy, you know?
Exactly.
So that when she's with him, she's awake, with him.
Exactly. She's got all this energy to spend with him, and you guys are freaking exhausted because you're watching her sleep. Maybe you should sit down and take a nap too. I would be like, damn, maybe I should have taken a nap. I'm going to be honest. I look at her. I was like, dang, that's what I think about. I'm like, I should be taking a nap.
When if I would have been in the house, every time I see her napping, I'm like, damn, I wish I could just go lay down and just fall asleep like that. That would be my thing.
You know what I would do?
I would just be mad because she's just laying everywhere sleeping and I can't because I can't fall asleep.
If I got a rose, so here's what I would do. She had her rose early, so she didn't have to be at the rose ceremony because she already had a rose, whatever. So then I'd be like,
she took
next
it as
time
I can sleep.
Yeah, so then the next time around when I get a rose, that means that I can sleep through the rose ceremony.
I know, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
That means anyone who gets a rose and save from elimination does not have to be present.
I would say there's no
rules.
Go
on and do you, girl. Do you.
That means there's no rules against it because they allowed her to do it. So I'd be like, damn, there's a rule. I didn't know I could do that.
He was just like looking for her.
Like, wait,
where's Corinne? She's sleeping. She's been sleeping since last night.
Yeah, maybe next time don't sleep through the rose ceremony.
That's where
okay.
And then he even thought maybe I should send her home because she didn't even think. It's disrespectful to him, not to the rest of the girls. I don't think it's disrespectful to women. Yeah, it's like you don't want to every moment that you have a chance to be with him, wouldn't you want, even if it's just standing there. So all you care about is there's that one rose. That's like getting an A on a test and stop studying the rest of the time. That's what you already got an A.
Well, I'd be
one test.
That's true.
No, you got to keep studying to get an A on the next test and and keep your A's.
You know how it's
easy to get an A. It's hard to keep it.
They say work smarter, not harder.
Well, it's easy to get a rose, but it's going to be hard to keep it. There's still a whole bunch of girls in there.
I don't know. But yeah, that was funny.
It was funny though.
They showed this very short scene of how they went to New Orleans and they were doing this haunted thing. They were messing with the Ouija board. I was like, hell no, I would not be messing around with that. I would say, nope, this date is not for me.
Jamie,
yeah, she was running.
She was like, this is not for me. I do not mess with spirits. No,
yeah,
I'm out.
That's what I would have said too. I'd be like, sorry. No. Sorry, yeah, that's not happening.
I would have just been like, not putting my hands on that, and I ain't gonna be in this room.
Yeah,
y'all don't know how to open, and you don't know how to close.
And
oh,
then,
you know how to open and close? Yeah. Well, then you need to be here. So
yeah,
you can
no.
No, thank you.
Hard pass. I would say no. I would not partake in
Chris
that.
was
Absolutely
like, and that
not.
house was really haunted.
Oh, it was in New Orleans.
Me.
It was in New Orleans. You know, New Orleans is really big for a lot of spiritual.
Well, they also
activity.
do a lot of.
They do a lot
voodoo
of voodoo
and stuff there.
Yeah.
So,
which voodoo is not what people call voodoo. It's voodoo is voodoo, but it's like also a spirituality type thing. It's not necessarily voodoo and how people consider voodoo to be. Where, voodoo, doing voodoo on people. That's not what really voodoo is. That's not all of what voodoo is.
And what is voodooism?
I don't think it's called voodooism. I don't know, because I was like watching this video that was talking about New Orleans and stuff and like the stuff that they practice there in the voodoo. And they're talking about how they have there's a lot of misconception about how they practice.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I mean, don't get it wrong. Obviously, like there isn't everything. There's people who do the bad stuff, but also there's a lot of people who do it for just, as like a spirituality type thing.
You can tell because the ones that do the good stuff, they always wear white. They think it's purity. It's white. And they practice a lot of Santeria. It's more Santeria.
Well, I don't know about all that, like about wearing white and stuff like that, because like wearing red can be seen as a negative thing, but it's not necessarily
not
a
necessarily
negative thing.
Not
so
in Santeria.
It depends. I don't know.
But it's just a way of how when they're dressing in white, it's purity. So they're not going to like do anything that's unpure.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't talk about voodoo because I don't like really know a lot about it, so I would have to look. I'd have to learn more about it. I just know I saw like small things about like people who practice like in New Orleans and stuff, but they just do.
It's all Santeria.
It's just all like good stuff, but
all Santeria.
But yeah, my point was that New Orleans is a very known like spiritual location.
It is.
With
it's
a lot
like
of people,
Haiti and
with a lot of people who practice spiritually. So I'd be like, yeah, I'm sure it is probably haunted.
Just because they practice spirituality doesn't mean that it makes it haunted.
No, but when you have a lot of spiritual energy,
a lot of bad stuff happened in New Orleans. I
guess it depends
in
on
New Orleans.
The person. I guess it depends on the person. Anyways. So
moving on, Christina.
Nick and Christina. So Nick and Christina, they had a lot of chemistry with each other. Christina disclosed that she was adopted. She was actually born in Russia, and she did talk about her childhood. That her mom was not around a lot. She had a very rough child growing up. Her mom gave her, I guess like she had rules on certain days or something where they couldn't eat food for like the whole day. And one day her mom came home and asked her if she ate, and she told her that she had. And because she wasn't allowed to eat on that day, her mom like yelled at her, told her that she had to leave. So she left as a child.
5 years old.
I know. And then had to live in an orphanage, and she was adopted at the age of 12. She said that she had a conversation with someone because I guess she wasn't like sure if she wanted to leave and come to America or not, or if she wanted to stay in Russia, because she had a lot of friends that she, had like grown up with at that time living in the orphanage. Someone told her that if she stood in Russia, that her life would be black and white, but if she came to America, her life would be in color. So she obviously chose to come to America, and she left her friends behind. And yeah, that's a crazy life journey that she's been through. You would never, I wouldn't think by looking at her that she had a rough childhood. But then again, you can't look at anybody and know what their past is.
Exactly. I love what Nick told her.
Yeah, me too.
Where he was like, I felt those words, you know what I mean? Like he said it's so genuine.
Genuine.
Because he was so genuine when he said it. It was like, I'm genuine. genuine, same shit. But he said it so genuinely, like it came from the heart. Like, wow, you could have turned out so many different ways. And yet here you are in front of me, this smart, beautiful woman, who has a good head on her shoulder. Yeah. And it's true. It could have.
She does.
Who the hell tells a 5-year-old, get the hell out of my house?
I don't know. When he said that to her, yeah. When he said that to her, I agree with you. It's like something that I've thought so many times when you like meet people who are like really incredible people who are just kind and everything like that. And they came from these really, really rough, hard childhoods, and you see the person that they are, and it's true. I say this
She
all
has
the
it all
time.
together. And
yeah, that was insane.
anyway, because of the show, when they talked to her today, she says because of the show, a lot of friends from Russia reached out to her and some family members. So she's been talking, you know, a little bit back and forth, and she's planning to go back to Russia to see them, but she doesn't know.
Yeah, she says she would like to go back and see it, like to see where she came from and see it through her adult eyes to kind of, I guess, see, you know, because sometimes when you grow up, you see something a certain way, and then you go back as an adult and you see it completely different than you did when you were a child. Yeah. So, but yeah, she's like, what, 20? She's in her late 20s, I think, right? Like her mid-late 20s-ish.
Something like that.
I know she's young.
Yeah, she's
but yeah,
still
she
young.
hasn't been there since she was 12, so that's a long time to be away from a place and not to not know what it's like anymore, you know.
And then Chris asked if she like heard from her mother, or, and I don't remember what she said.
I thought she said her mother passed. Did she say that, or did somebody else say that?
I can't remember what she said.
I don't know. I didn't notate that. I didn't write that down.
Me either. Because I felt, I guess in my mind, I was already set that this woman, when you throw out a child at 5 years and you know that she's in an orphanage and you don't even go and recover her back, or, you know, try to get her back or see her, she's not worth remembering.
Yeah, that's
in my
crazy.
opinion.
I don't know.
In my opinion.
Yeah, that was insane. That was an insane story. I mean, I kind of knew a little bit that she had, I knew at least that she came from Russia. I didn't know her full, like, background of her childhood until this episode.
Wow.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Now, see, here in the United States, you kick out a 5-year-old and they're just roaming around the streets, you're going to jail.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Apparently, they don't do that there. They just put them in an orphanage.
Moving on. They showed a little segment of Nick and the girls milking a cow.
That was disgusting.
And then it made me think, yeah, it is disgusting. It looked extremely disgusting. But then it made me think this thing in my head. And I was wondering, who milks the cows when they're just in nature? What happens? Because you know how they say that the cows, they have to be milked or else it's bad for their health and stuff like that. Like they literally need to be milked. Or it's like bad for their health.
I never knew.
I feel like I said that twice.
I never knew cows to be wild.
That's what made me wonder. Was there a time where cows were just in the wild?
I don't think so.
And who milked them then? Did they just die from milk backup because
they
couldn't be milked?
No, they were always domestic animals.
That makes me want to learn the history of cows.
Well, that is Alvy's favorite animal.
I was like, it makes me wonder. It made me wonder about cows. Then I was thinking, when has one ever seen a cow in nature, like just in the wild, like a wild cow? I don't know.
I don't think they ever were.
I had to learn about cows.
I think they were always used for milk.
I know. Moving on to Corinne and Nick. Corinne and Nick,
who loved her naps.
Yeah. Corinne and Nick had a lot of sexual chemistry. Obviously, he was very intrigued by her. She was all about some fun and a lot of sex appeal. You can tell that she's immature, but at the same time, Nick is entertaining every part of her immaturity.
Yep.
So,
he made her feel like a kid.
Like I was saying, Nick kind of, I guess that's what he likes, so it's what he likes.
I don't think it's what he likes.
Or maybe it was a nice break from the seriousness of everyone else.
That's what it was. She took him away from being serious and took him back to feeling like this young kid and a young girl and just having fun and nothing serious. That's why he kept her around. I feel like that's why he kept her around, because of her.
A nice break from everything else being so serious.
I don't want to say innocence, but it was almost like a childish innocence about her.
It's just fun.
That she
just having a good time.
Have fun.
Well, if you think about it, you have like all these relationships, you're probably talking about serious stuff and everything gets deep all the time. And then you have this one girl that you can count on that every time you go to her, it's just going to be fun, nothing serious. You just get to have a good time. Yeah. So why wouldn't you want to keep that around,
Exactly. I mean, was there any time they spoke anything serious? Because they never show them talking about any serious, not even when he was in her hometown. All she did, let me show you what I do. This is all I do all day, every day. Shop.
Yeah.
And he was like, that is way over my budget.
I can't count
$800 for a shirt.
I can't count what they show because they don't show a lot of conversations that they have. So I don't know if there were serious conversations or not. I mean, I would have to assume they had to have had some serious conversations, but it probably wasn't anywhere near as much as it was lighthearted and messing around. So yeah, I can't always go by what they show.
I think it went like this. So Corinne, what is it that you look for in a relationship? A good kisser. Right?
Did somebody not say that one time in a previous thing? I swear. No, like, in one of these previous seasons that we watched, one of them was like, what do you look for in a relationship? I look for a nice person and a good kisser. And then it was just like making out.
Kiss.
Yeah.
That's it.
I swear. No, you're joking, but somebody actually did do that.
I mean, that's how I would see. I feel like that's how it would have been. He would ask her a serious question and it will always end with, but you're such a great kisser. Yeah. Just to avoid the question.
And then this is where I wrote, Corinne just is who she is. As long as she's not being rude or hurting anyone, why does it bother them? Why are they talking to her like a child?
I don't know, because there's just people that feel like they need to control everything. There's people that feel they need to control everything. There's people that feel they need to be the mother of the house. I hate that. Can't you just let people live?
Right? I had this thing that was like, well, never mind. I'll save that for later.
It's like they got to control every little thing. And they need to control every little thing. How Nick felt about every little thing. Got to control, because you got to plant those seeds in his head.
Yeah. It's usually the conservatives. So then they go into Taylor and Nick. So Taylor is a psychology major and is a mental health counselor. A lot of the girls talking about Corinne all the time. It was kind of being peppered in throughout the thing of her relationship with Nick. I hate people who say they knew girls like blank and they aren't their friends. Like, she made a comment like, I know girls like Corinne and I'm not friends with those girls. Well, what do you mean by that, really? You know girls like so-and-so.
She's like from the Mean Girls.
I hate that comment so much. I think Sydney said it, or Sydney. I think like Sydney said it in Colton season. She was like, when she just like was hating on Alea really, really hard for like no reason. And she's like, oh, I know girls like you. Oh, wait, no, it was somebody else. Somebody said, oh, I know girls like you. I hate when people say that. What is that supposed to mean? You know girls like so-and-so.
I know.
Everybody's different. And not everyone is the same.
And the thing that kills me is how dare Taylor like pull Corinne at the fire pit or whatever, and then started telling her that she wasn't mature enough to be in a relationship or to get married.
That's what I thought.
Who the heck are you?
That's what I'm saying. Don't take out your frustrations on past experiences that you had with people and take it out on somebody else. People do that all the time. They're like, I know this person who acts just like you in high school, and so because I had a really bad experience with them, I hate you, and now I'm gonna have problems with you, and we can't be friends.
Here's the thing.
Grow up. Are you still in high school?
Even if you feel that way about that person, you have no right to tell her that. None whatsoever.
That was the most condescending conversation I have ever seen in my life. And you know what? You say what you want about Corinne, but she was absolutely right when she said that she called her stupid. She did call her stupid.
She did call her stupid.
Just because you didn't say the word stupid doesn't mean that you didn't. It was still implied in the way. It's when you use these high level, these high level intelligent words. I didn't say the word stupid. I said it in like a high level, like intelligent type way. No, you called her stupid.
Yeah, you did.
You called her stupid, immature,
emotional,
shouldn't be there. Pretty much said that she needs help.
Pretty much.
And like said multiple times that she needs like mental help. Like, who are you to tell somebody that they need help?
First off, I never said I didn't like Corinne. And she was dead on when she told her, how dare you talk to me like that? I'm not stupid. I didn't call you stupid. Yes, you did.
Yeah, I said I'm on Corinne's side.
Oh, and then she gave her the definition of what emotional intelligence is. Oh, if I would have been Corinne, she would have been eating that fire.
Holy cow. I was like, I hate people who do this. I would
have looked at her and I would have been like, I knew somebody like you in high school and I couldn't stand her either.
Oh my God. It reminds me, it freaking reminds me of I keep bringing it up, but Sydney from Colton's season when she was attacking Alea, and then the girl, and then she started attacking another girl. Yep. And then when the girl was defending herself, she was like, oh my God, look at you being all crazy. Get up and like walk away. Yes. I hate people who do that because you know what you're saying. You know what you're doing. You are intentionally trying to diminish somebody. You are intentionally insulting them. No, you may not be saying the word stupid, but anybody can understand the underlying meaning of the words that you are saying. You called her stupid. It was it was incredibly condescending. Very. And had that been me, I probably would have slapped you in the face.
Seriously. What got me mad was like, when Corinne was like,
I would be like, ugh, I would be so pissed.
When she said, you
have no emotional intelligence.
She went like this, emotional intelligence. Then she started to explain to her what it meant. She was like I asked for the definition. I know exactly what that means. I'm not stupid. And I don't appreciate you calling me stupid. I didn't call you stupid. No, you just poked me. It's like you poke somebody with a needle, and then you're like, why you poke me with a needle? That wasn't a needle.
What does it matter? It doesn't matter. You still poked me with something sharp. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Oh my God, that pissed me off.
Anyway, when Corinne told Nick that she bullied her, because she did. It is a form of bully when you're constantly telling somebody that they're immature, or, I mean, feel what you feel about that person. You don't have the right to be throwing it at them, throwing those words to them constantly, because that is a form of bullying. It is. You're trying to break her down, and that's not right. So when Corinne told Nick that, what she was doing and what she said to her, he didn't like that at all. He knew that is a form of bullying. I'm sorry, it is.
I hate that.
Especially when
that was really
when she was
annoying
constantly telling her how immature she is. How many times she told her how immature she was?
A lot of girls did.
Not just a lot of girls, but she did it especially a lot
of girls. Especially in her side interviews. Yes. She said it more in her side interviews than she said it like to her face, I think.
I mean, in the end, it's Nick's choice who stays and who goes. And he left Taylor sitting there, hunty.
Yeah, I was just like, she did not need to sit there and have that conversation. Nobody, you could have just sat there with your mouth shut. You guys didn't have to say anything to each other. You didn't like each other. You didn't have to say anything.
Exactly.
The end. It was like unnecessary to even have that conversation. Because my question is, what were you hoping to accomplish with this conversation? There was zero intention to accomplish anything other than to make her feel even like shit.
Yeah.
That's what you were trying to do. There's no other way to me. There's no other way this conversation goes. There's no other, there's no going around it.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Left her sitting in Bayo.
Yeah. And then she didn't get the rose. And then they had a catch up. Well, also at the same time, there were several instances where she was where she had time with him and she was talking about Corinne.
Exactly. That's all she did.
Instead of talking about them and just focusing on their relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that also probably has something to do with it.
Corinne said what she had to say and then she moved on. And then it was just Nick.
Yeah. Now, I could understand this conversation happening if Corinne was sitting there poking at her and then she was just responding and then she was like, oh, well, you're emotionally immature. If Corinne said, oh, he wouldn't be interested in a girl like you. And then she came back and said something like that. Then I'd be like, okay, well, Corinne pretty much, she asked for it. But if you're just sitting there quietly, just sit there quietly and awkwardly. Nobody has to say anything. It doesn't need to happen.
That's right.
And then they did a catch up with her and she made a comment that she said she was an easy target and easy to manipulate. And I'm like, what is that? What? I'm not sure what she meant when she was saying that. Then I know that she did do an interview or something where she was talking about how she had this really bad perception from the show and everybody was saying that she bullied Corinne and stuff like that. And then she's trying to say that she got bullied, but I'm like, bullied by who? Who bullied you?
Yeah.
Unless they're trying to say that there's a whole reel of Corinne bullying her that just wasn't shown and they just took out all those parts and then only showed the parts where she was talking about Corinne. I'm like, because if that's what you mean, then I'm sure at this point they probably would have said something about it or you would have had a chance to talk about it in the catch up. But she said easy to manipulate, as in she said something along the lines of all the girls were always talking about Corinne and, she was just always there when the conversations happened. And then something about that somebody told her, or I don't know if it was a producer or something, maybe said that she should say something to her or something like that. And then maybe that's why that conversation happened. But this is my problem still. is so many people who have been on the show who just refuse to take accountability for their own actions. At the end of the day, yes, maybe somebody did manipulate you, but at the end of the day, nobody forced you to say those words. Nobody stood there and forced you to say those things to anybody. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your own actions.
Here's the thing.
I mean, people can egg you on. People can make suggestions to you, but at the end of the day, it's still your choice, and those are your actions.
Here's the thing. A lot of people say, well, I was like coerced into saying what I said. No. When you say something, those are feelings that you've had. Those are thoughts that you've had. Nobody puts those thoughts in there. So I don't care. When you say something, you mean it. It's plain and simple. You just mean it. And she knew what she was saying to her. So.
Yeah, and then they asked her if like Corinne ever apologized to her. And I'm like, apologized for what? Like, what am I missing? What is the missing piece of which she needs to apologize about? Like,
you twisted my words. So yeah, after you twisted my words, then I guess it is true. I did.
But that's not twisting words. There were
she
zero
didn't twist the words.
Twisted.
She just said exactly what you said. Pretty much she said exactly what she said. She called her stupid.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
There was no twisting there. She didn't twist anything.
Yeah, I don't know. The only part of this conversation that I actually understood and cared about was the part where she was talking about what she's doing now. Where I can't remember exactly what it was word for word, but it has something to do with love in many different ways and forms. That she's like studying or partaking in something that has to do with love and the different forms of love, whether it be polyamorous love or trans love, gay love, or like whatever, bisexual. I guess like that love, basically, it has no bounds, no
boundaries, no.
It's not just like the heterosexual norm where it's just a straight guy and a straight girl in a relationship. There's many different forms of love, and all of them are equally as great as the other.
There's all forms of love and attraction.
That was the only part of the conversation that I really cared much about, or was that's the only place in which I could find common ground, is that idea that all love is the same, no matter how it looks, no matter what form it comes.
Anyway, she's still free.
She said
she's not in a relationship.
I'm not sure.
She's just free.
I can't remember.
Let me see my notes. I don't know if she's single or not. I guess because I didn't really pay attention to her talking. And then
because I don't like people who play the victim.
I don't either. So I didn't really listen to a lot of things that she said.
I don't like people who play the victim, but she's a Cancer. What do you expect?
They're always playing the victim.
They cry, say that it was somebody else's fault, and that they should, and somehow that, they're the victim, whatever.
Then they spoke to Corinne today.
I'm sorry, Cancers. My best friend is a Cancer. Shocker. Actually, my best friend is a Cancer. Amy.
She's a Cancer?
She is. I know, because I was like, I wonder what she is. She's a Cancer. She is a Cancer. But we get along really well.
Yeah.
And I don't find her to be, I don't know, she must have other influence in her stars.
I like her. She doesn't act like a Cancer at all.
She must be a rising something else. A rising with a moon influence of something that is a little bit more.
So not all Cancers are like Cancer. So
no, not all Cancers fall under.
Not all
signs are stereotypical. Yeah. That's why
they're really not.
You get a better grasp of somebody when you understand their rising sign and their moon sign. Those are big influences as well.
Anyway, then they showed Corinne
back to astrology.
Then they showed Corinne today, and I didn't care too much for what she said either, because it looked like she didn't change that much from the last time she was on The Bachelor. She's still the same. Only thing is that she's in a relationship.
She's still dramatic.
I didn't understand why when Chris asked her boyfriend, so what do you think about her or something like that? And then she started speaking. Did you see how annoyed her face was?
Wait a minute.
When her boyfriend started speaking?
Corinne's boyfriend. They showed her boyfriend?
Yeah. I think his name is Andy.
What was
I
looking at?
I don't know. I think his name was
Andy.
Did I
not pay attention for that part?
You must have not.
I don't think I was paying attention for that. I don't know.
Yeah, but Obviously, well, in my notes I put obviously she has not changed. She is still the same. She talked about the whole incident between her and Taylor, like if it was still today.
I know. I was like,
I
anyway.
was a little confused about that because that was like so yesterday.
Holds a grudge. You know why?
I would have been like,
you know why? She's a Scorpio. She holds that grudge, man.
Yeah.
She'll hold that grudge for life.
Yeah, that's true.
She'll never forget.
She's like, her life is beautiful. She's happy. She has a boyfriend. She learned how to make the cheese pasta, which her boyfriend said was great. It was just,
Thank
why
God.
did she get annoyed when her boyfriend started talking? It was like, oh, now the camera's on him. That's how it looked. She was like,
oh, I don't know.
She went like this when he was like, I think she's a beautiful person. She's smart. She's intelligent. I like how he threw that in there after Taylor said she was immature and emotionally intelligent, whatever she said.
No
Anyway,
emotional intelligence.
Yeah. And she was like, she went like this.
Well, emotional intelligence means, I'm just kidding.
Well, Taylor already gave us that definition.
Yeah, we don't need to hear the definition again. So then they go into
if you
Rachel.
want the definition of emotional intelligence, go back to the scene where she was explaining it to Corinne because she broke it down for her.
Yeah. So then they go into Rachel and Nick. Nick gave her the first impression rose. Yep. They had a very deep connection. They both have parents that have been together for 36 plus years. Wow.
Yeah.
So they have some good role models for a relationship. See, in the beginning, I knew that they were going to get along well because I know that Nick is a very emotional, not emotional. He's a very he needs mental stimulation. Like he needs somebody that he can like talk to and be mentally stimulated by it. And I knew like he took an immediate interest in her. She's a lawyer, you know, she's very intelligent, well-spoken. She's very deep. They're both really deep people. So I kind of knew that they were going to have this like really deep relationship. Then they show her taking him to her hometown where she took him to a church.
He was the only.
Oh yeah, she took him to her church service. Yeah,
I was like,
you know what? Why couldn't our churches be like that growing up?
What do you mean?
You know, fun.
It depends the church you go to.
Our churches were never that fun.
It was Catholic church.
Yeah, when she was like, she said, I hope
that
was
a Baptist church.
She said she was taking him
Baptist or
I don't know. She said she was taking him somewhere, and then she was like, he better be ready to clap and stamp or whatever. And I was like, oh, they're going dancing? Like, no, they're going to church. I was like,
it
okay.
Depends what church you go to, like Baptist and what's the other one?
No, because it's I went to a youth church somewhere around here. Where they did similar stuff. It was also music and like you were able to get up and like dance and sing and stuff like that. And it was, you know, it was a good time.
Pentecostal is like that.
It was a good time.
But then my whole theory on religion is something else. So I mean, it's great to go and visit every once in a while and join in with people like that.
Yeah, I don't mind.
But to be part of a congregation, I can't see myself being part of a congregation.
I've never felt like I fit into any religion anyways, maybe just because, you know, I'm gay, so.
That has nothing to do with it. There's a lot of religions that don't even talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. They'd rather just pretend it doesn't exist.
No, they accept people for who they are. That's it.
I need to find that religion.
I don't know. Because there are churches. It depends on the pastor. Because there's pastors that
yeah, they do.
They don't care.
We have advanced.
It's like my church is your home.
Yeah,
that's how it's supposed to be.
We have advanced much in society. But still, I don't know. Maybe it's just like a personal. Yeah. Rachel made a comment that she said she feels like he gets her beyond the surface level and that they have a deeper connection. Has every girl that he's been with not said that?
Yeah.
Every person he's with always says that the connection is deep and that he sees beyond the surface level.
He's
they
a deep
feel like
person.
he sees them for who they are. That's kind of like what I like about him. He doesn't judge people by the surface. He like actually wants to get to know people, but like for who they really are. And that's why people get such this deep connection with. That's what makes him so like entrancing to people. It's because he like legitimately has interest in people and who they are.
He would be the kind of person that he would win that interview at every interview he went to.
I know, right? I bet you he probably is a great interviewer.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is.
I bet he is.
And I loved when he told her when he asked her, if you can check your ego at the door, what would your heart say? Like, if you can check your ego at the door, what would your heart say?
Oh, I see what you mean.
I love that.
How did I miss that?
I love that. I couldn't, when he said it, I was like, oh my God, I got to write this down. And then it was like the longest pause ever.
Yeah. Like,
and then
I think that's another thing with her too, because she's also an intellectual as well. She likes the mental stimulation. They're both the same in that regard. That they both mentally stimulate and make each other like kind of think. And you know.
Like you could tell when he asked her that question, her mind went poof.
And I think that attracted her even more to him.
Oh my God. It was like
she was like a man who can make me think.
Excuse my expression, but he mind fucked her.
I know.
And she had a mind orgasm.
I think she likes that. It was
like explosion.
I think that's why she liked him so much.
Yeah.
Because she was like, whoa.
To be honest, I thought it was going to get to the end. I know. Because they had so much chemistry. I felt like they had a lot of chemistry together.
I think he made a mistake in his like ending choices. I don't know how he got to his final choice, but I think Rachel would have been a good match for him too.
I think she would have been
perfect.
I
think they both matched each other.
Had he picked her, they probably would have still been together today.
Maybe.
Because number one,
I think
her determination is, oh, you ain't leaving me. We ain't giving up like this.
Yeah, but she already found her guy because she became the Bachelorette. So
yeah,
she found her
married.
guy. Yeah, she's married to a guy named Brian.
Yeah.
So she got her happily ever after.
Married and in love. They didn't show her today.
Yeah, that's why I was like, why didn't they do a catch up with her? They should have shown her.
Maybe she wasn't available.
But yeah, then he met the family. I like his statement that he made where he said, I like her for who she is, and she just happens to be black. Because it's true. It's like they put so much emphasis on like, oh, because you're a person of color. It's like, okay, I understand like that aspect of her, but at the same time, I just like her for her, and she also just happens to be this, you know?
Exactly.
It's, I don't know.
I don't know, what is it about color or
so here's my thing.
Ethnicity.
I can't speak to certain things, obviously, because I only have my experience. I can't speak for other people's experience. I see this happen a lot in interracial couples, especially if you've seen it on the show and stuff, where there's an interracial couple, they go back and the family is always like, well, have you ever been with somebody like this? Do you understand like if the they stigma came from stuff out that of happens?
This planet or something.
Well, at the same time, you have to understand that it comes from a place of like experiencing things in your life. So I can't speak on certain things because obviously I have no experience other than my own. I can't speak on other people's experiences, but it's almost like, and I see this happen, and I can only pull it back to what relates to me, which is like, you know, being gay. It's like, you know, you're obviously very understanding and stuff like that. And like, you guys don't care, like you accept me for me. But at the same time, there are other people out there that are like, okay, but they want to protect you from the world. And so I'm just like comparing it back to, I guess, like being black. And, you know, there's obviously a lot of racist people out there. There's also homophobic people out there. But does that mean that you have to keep someone like, stop living your life or being who you are or anything like that?
No.
I don't know if that's really the same. I'm only comparing it to what I guess I can compare it to, because it reminds me of...
It's still a hate crime.
Watching the...
Hate crime, whether you're black or whether you're Mexican or whether you're gay or whether you're whatever.
Being a minority.
You know?
Well, when you're somebody who's not a minority, being with a minority, there are certain things that you might experience that you would not have experienced if you weren't with that person, you know?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day... as far as his relationship with her went, everything with the family went well.
You know what? Everybody's going to have their opinions on couples, regardless of whether they're a black person and a white person, two women, two men, a fat girl with a skinny guy, a fat guy with a skinny girl. It doesn't matter. A short guy with a tall. It doesn't matter. People are always going to have their opinions about that person. It doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, she's so fat. What is she doing with him? Yeah. He's so skinny.
Some people,
it doesn't matter.
Some people are more susceptible to certain types of hate than others. I don't know. I said it'd be like me being gay, and because of homophobia in the world, I not be with a woman because it would be too hard for us. You know, it's like.
Why?
It's like many people who hide the fact that they're gay and they just choose not to be with the person they want to be with because they don't want to experience the hate of the world.
Well, it. You know what?
But
until the world pays my bills, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks or what anybody says. I live my life. If you don't like it, close your door. You stay in the house.
Unfortunately, there's the people like us who are not judgmental, who are, you know, who don't judge other people, who don't try to force agendas onto other people. And then unfortunately, there's people out there that are those types of people. They're like, oh, well, you know, this is how I see the world and this is what I think. And so because that's what I think, everybody else needs to be that way too. And those are the people who do the hate crimes, who force their ways of thinking onto other people, not the people who are open-minded, because open-minded people don't need to force any belief on other people because they're open-minded.
Exactly.
That's how it is, unfortunately.
That's problem.
Why I was like, what's the difference
between
between a liberal and a conservative? The conservative has to force the liberal to be a conservative. The liberal is not forcing the conservative to be a conservative. The liberal says, you have your beliefs and that's fine. Just don't impede on mine. But they can't be that way. No, because that's like an abomination to them. Can't have that. No, we got to have the whole world be like this because this is how I think the world should be. It's just like, if everybody could just stay in their own bubble, live their life, and just be kind to everybody, and just, you know, just because you don't like that, fine. You don't have to look at it, or you don't have to live that way, but you shouldn't be able to tell other people how to live their lives.
Exactly.
I feel like I went off topic.
Oh, because it touched the, you know, the racial, being a mixed couple.
What happened?
I don't know.
After that? They said that.
To me, love is love. And love has no gender, color. It has nothing. It's just love.
I agree. And so after the hometowns, they had a fantasy suite. And she said that she was falling for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he said back that he was falling for her too. And then after the fantasy suite, he sent her home. And then it was down to his final two. Yep. So they did a catch up with Tayshia and Natasha.
Yeah, like
instead of Rachel, and Rachel wasn't a part of it, which I was confused about. I don't understand why they didn't bring her.
I'm sorry, I didn't do a catch up. I didn't really hear anything that Tayshia. Who was the other one?
Natasha.
Okay.
She's from
Tayshia, Natasha,
Colton
Natasha.
Season.
I heard.
Oh, they were both from Colton Season.
Yeah, Natasha. I listened to her a little bit because she had more important things
Natasha
to say.
was on Peter's season.
I don't know whose season she was.
Natasha was from Peter's season. Tayshia's from Colton Season. Sorry.
So every time Tayshia talked, I forwarded.
Really? You don't like her that much?
I didn't like anything she had to say either. I don't know what the hell she was talking about. But I was listening to Natasha.
They were talking about how
Natasha.
They were talking about how Rachel inspired them. How Rachel being the first Black Bachelorette was inspiring, and, you know, having representation, and then
the first
she's the first and only
Black
the first and
that
the
is exactly
the
right.
first and the only Black Bachelorette ever.
So she paved the way,
for
the African American woman. Anyway,
and then I was
don't know.
like,
she just every time I tried to listen to her, and I was like, oh, I can't. Let me see what Natasha has to say.
I don't mind her.
And then I listened to Natasha, and then they would bring it back to Tayshia, and I was like, ah.
Oh my God. Wait, you don't like her voice?
I don't like her voice, and I don't know. It's like she would be the person in the room that I would try to get away from.
I feel like
when
she's a beauty
talking.
pageant queen. Didn't she do beauty pageants? I feel like she's a beauty pageant queen.
She's a Cali girl. And you can tell by the way she talks. She's like, oh my God. She's like, oh my God. She's a Cali girl.
She's the possible current Bachelorette.
Possible.
So I said, is she in a hotel? Is that camera that's showing her? Is she like in a hotel in the resort? Inquiring minds need to know.
I don't know why they didn't pick Natasha, or does she have a boyfriend? I think she said she was in a relationship.
Why didn't they pick Natasha? She would have been great. I liked her a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. She's like put together, and
she's too put together.
Everything that was asked, she answered so professionally. I don't know. I liked listening to her, and then I just skipped through. So
I like listening to her, and then Tayshia, and then I skipped through Tayshia, and then I said Natasha. What you got? What was that, Natasha?
She had more intelligent things to say. Not to say that, you know, Tasha is dumb or stupid or anything like that. She's smart.
That's okay. I mostly also heard what Natasha said. I just feel like Tasha wasn't really saying anything.
Thank you. It was a lot of mumbling and no sense.
I don't feel like Tasha was really saying anything. Natasha, I was Natasha, okay.
Yeah.
And then Tasha was talking, and I was kind of like, but where are you going? I'm not sure.
Yes. That's what I meant. I think
she was trying to say something,
but wasn't saying anything.
I think she was trying to say something, but also not saying something.
And
at the
then
same time.
when Natasha took it up, it was like, I guess she clarified what she was probably trying to say. I don't know. Natasha was easier to listen to. It's like if there were two candidates debating, Natasha would have won my vote.
Yeah.
I would have just been like, Tasia, I'm sorry. You was just all over the place, but no main idea.
That would make her a great politician.
Who?
She has all the makings of being a politician. Yeah. Saying a lot but not saying anything.
Yeah, she's a filler.
Well, the point is that at the
that's what she is.
It's like
she's a filler.
It's like beauty pageants and stuff where they're like, whatever you say, just end it with "for the children," and then everyone claps. She's like, and and it's really great, and for the children.
Yeah, and she was also and for black women.
Yeah, and then Natasha made more valid points.
Oh yeah,
in what she was saying.
Of course. I don't know. I wouldn't want Tasia defending me.
I always root for the underdog in the shows. I always find myself like rooting for the underdog. I actually
what do you think, Tasha's an underdog?
I actually did root for Tasha to be the Bachelorette.
Ew.
I always root for the person that I feel like is never going to get picked, but I'd always hope that they're going to get picked anyways.
Listen, I didn't like the conversations that she had with JP Morgan, whatever his name is.
JP Morgan Chase.
Whatever his name is.
JPJ.
Ese.
I don't insult his intelligence.
Listen, I don't know if it was because JP didn't have much to say, but she didn't either. It's like they did not challenge each other at all. Like, no, I don't know. People should be able to challenge each other's minds. Yeah. They did not challenge each other's minds.
Probably not.
It was just air fillers.
They're cute. They had a prom. They had their little prom.
There was fillers.
Then there was the final two, Vanessa and Raven. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really write anything about either of those relationships. I felt like they breezed through. We get it. They both liked each other. They said they loved each other, or they said they were falling in love. I was like, okay, moving on. Kind of boring. Nothing interesting happened.
I was like,
yeah, right. And then moving on. So obviously he must. Let's just say 5-second wrap up. He liked both of them a lot. Moving on. They both liked him a lot.
I don't know. He should have picked Raven. That's all I know.
Then
and just to say,
I don't think he should have picked either of them. He should have picked somebody that didn't make it to the final two.
I think it would have been a perfect match with Rachel.
I still think Rachel was his best choice, and I don't understand why he didn't pick her.
I think he got scared.
He was like, she's too serious. This could last. I gotta pick somebody. It's not gonna last.
You just sounded like JP. Don't mess with my intelligence, Derek.
Oh my god, I sound like you were just trying to talk like a Tali. Don't insult my intelligence, Derek. Don't insult my intelligence, Derek. That's mean. Anyway,
that's from Bachelor in Paradise.
One thing I did note is for the final rose, it was an interesting choice of location. I think this is the first final rose I've ever seen in the freaking ice.
No,
really, they put him in a frozen tundra in the middle of nowhere in this random little building. Whoa,
there was no sweating there.
I know. I was like, usually they got like pit stains and like back sweat.
There was no sweating,
and the hair is stuck to the head because of how sweaty they are. Not this time.
They were in winter wonderland.
Although it would have been the perfect location for me because I love winter.
It was a perfect winter wonderland. Yeah. Man, she stepped out of that limo, Raven, with her open toe high heels. Ooh, all I thought was cold.
Cold.
I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Raven came out first. Obviously, she
and then left with no jacket.
I know. That's what I was saying. I was like, why didn't they let her put her coat back on? So not only did she get broken up with, she had to leave cold as hell.
She had to walk out in the cold.
Dang, they had to make her
have
suffer.
That limo warm.
Right? I was like, Me and Albie were both like,
She
didn't let
probably
her
went
get her
home with
coat.
bronchitis
Like,
or something.
That was messed up.
She probably went home with bronchitis. Like,
That was
cold.
cold. Get it?
Because
That was cold.
Yeah, it was cold.
Huh.
Because you go out into the cold like that, and then you go into somewhere warm, you could get sick like that.
Yeah. They did a little catch up with Raven. I thought it was funny that she said she used her ex-boyfriend's computer to apply for The Bachelor. #savage.
I know.
And then she made the comment that people either find Nick an asshole or just truthful.
Yep.
Or maybe those are my words, that asshole
No,
or truthful.
She said,
Did you hear what I just said? I said asshole or truthful. He's either an assful or he's
truthful.
a flat ass. He's got a full ass or a flat ass. We don't know.
Well, she said that, Nick, when people meet Nick, the first impression is either he's an asshole or he's just straight out. To me, he's just straight out.
Yeah, he's straight out.
I don't see no asshole. That's the thing. If you're straight out, you're an asshole. And if you... Why you look at me like that?
I'm just looking at you. What are you talking?
And then if you're being fake and you're just being what everybody wants you to be, then you're like, oh, you're fake.
I know.
You're
That's why I said you can't win.
Fake.
You're either an asshole.
You're so fake.
You're an asshole or you're fake. So I'd rather be an asshole. And then, well, she is with Adam, who she met in Paradise. Apparently, they've tried to get married 3 times and it keeps getting postponed. Postponed. And then Nick proposes to Vanessa. What was interesting is he was crying before she even... What?
Raven
lost.
Raven is engaged
to Adam. Yeah. And I said they tried to get married 3 times, but it keeps getting postponed, they said. She met him in Paradise. Raven and Adam from Bachelor in Paradise.
I don't remember her on Paradise.
I think that was the season after. I don't think we watched that season. But Nick ended up proposing to Vanessa, obviously. And what was interesting is that he was crying as soon as the door opened. Like, the door opened and he was like bawling already. He was like, if I were her, I would have thought that he was crying because he was going to break up with me.
Well, it's weird that he was like, I really tried hard not to fall in love with you. I was like, huh? You don't say that to somebody.
Right? I really tried to hate your guts.
Wow.
But you were just too nice. Dang it.
And then she kind of worried me when she was like, I really don't want to break his heart. I was like, oh, she's breaking up? She's not going to accept that proposal?
No.
Anyway, so moving on. So they took a ride in the sled in the snow with the horse carriage and ride. Yee. And a year later, they broke up.
Yes. They did a catch up with Vanessa. She said that she was one of the actual select few who did want him to be the bachelor. She got sick on their zero gravity date and threw up, and he took care of her. And there was actually
love at first sight.
Yeah, Nick actually talked about that, the zero gravity date, how she got sick and she vomited and everything, and then he helped clean her up, and then he kissed her after she vomited.
Yes,
now that is love.
No, that's more than love.
Yeah, and then she said they reconnected through text and they're cordial, and they just realized they weren't a good fit for each other.
Yeah, it was a mutual breakup.
Yeah,
so
and
that's good. I mean, it was a lot. She moved from Canada. It's funny because she was like, would you move for someone? And he was like, well, I live in the United States and I love being an American. She's like, well, I love being a Canadian. Like, hello. He was like, let me finish. Okay, let me finish. What I'm saying is, the right person, it would be negotiable. I was like, right. Go ahead, Nick, tell her. Like, calm down, woman. He's just answering your question. Don't take it offensively.
Yeah.
Anyway, she said, I think part of that was a big struggle. The adjustment, the new relationship. So, it's a mutual breakup.
Also, just not being a good fit for each other.
I don't think they were ever a good fit for each other.
Yeah, I didn't see it. But anyways, then they did a catch up with Nick. He has no regrets that Corinne was in his top 4.
Nope.
So obviously there must have been something beyond the physical attraction. That's where I said there must be
something. He liked her. She was fun.
There.
She was fun for him.
And then I was like, 4 seasons and his own season, and he is still single.
Single.
What's going on here? But he does want everyone...
Single and ready to mingle.
But he does want everyone to know that he does not have an illness that is keeping him single.
Oh, by the way, Nick, Taylor is single.
Gosh. Chris sent Nick a gift in the mail, and it was a poster. though I thought it was interesting that Chris was like the main focus of the poster, and
I
then
know,
Nick was
and
just
then
in
he's
the
in the
back. So
background.
really, he was like,
Rocky
Nick, got you a
V.
gift. It's a
Rocky
picture
IV.
of me. Well, actually, it started off as just a picture of me, and then everybody said that might be a little weird. So I said, oh, maybe we should just draw him little in the background, and then we negotiated, and then that's what they came up with. So
Yeah.
that was good
That's
times.
funny.
And for the next Bachelor recap, it's going to be on everyone's favorite Bachelor, Juan Pablo.
Yeah, you finally get to talk about your Juan Pablo.
I've been trying to get you to watch his season forever. I watched his full season.
It was too boring.
So I watched his full season, and now we're going to get to recap that episode next week. Although, why are they doing 3 Bachelors back to back?
I don't know. I thought it was a Bachelor, Bachelorette,
Are Bachelorette's
Bachelorette,
not good enough anymore?
Bachelorette.
They should have done Rachel's season.
I don't know why they didn't do a Bachelorette.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Chris, what is going on?
Yeah, so I guess next time we'll be back here to talk about Juan Pablo. I'm sure it'll be a great time. And then we'll get to talk all about Claire, who was on Juan Pablo's season. And we'll get to talk about Andy D, who was also on his season. And who else?
Is that going to be the last
and that'll
one?
be it.
They probably left him for last because Claire is the Bachelorette.
Claire's October 13th. We still got like 2 weeks between then. So
No. I'm saying, is that is
I don't
he
know
the
if that's
last
supposed
one?
to. I don't know.
Because,
because then it's Claire's season.
Yeah, because then it's going to go into the Bachelorette.
I don't know. If so, I'd be pretty disappointed of their choice of seasons that they chose to do.
I know.
Like, no offense.
I don't know.
Why do we have to do Ali Fedotowsky's season? Nothing of substance or special importance happened in that season.
Who?
Ali Fedotowsky. I'm just saying, like, who chose the seasons that they were going to cover?
I don't know.
And why Ali Fedotowsky's over someone else,
his
like
son?
Rachel?
I don't know.
Anyway, it was fun times. I think this is the longest recap episode that we've ever done. Like, this is really long. It's almost 2 hours. So if you stood listening the whole time, kudos to you, because we went off course like 3,000 times. Anyways, we hope that you, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. Next week, we're going to be back again talking about Juan Pablo's season. And we hope that you are staying safe, happy, and healthy, and manifesting everything that you desire out of life.
Amen.